if you've never moved before, you don't really want to learn the hard way, the do's and the don'ts. So we're going to try to save you a little bit of trouble. We've got your back this morning with what you need to know before you move into your new home, as you move into your new home. Joining me now is Mar Jennings, not only America's top lifestyle expert, but now a real estate titan. Titan, does that work for you?
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, he's a real estate, and he's going to help us talk about moving. Mar, I just moved less than a month ago. It's a long-term challenge. It's hard. You know, I get fired up. I think, I'm really going to get so much done today. And then I say, let me just take a break for a few minutes. And it's like, it turns out to being a break for
month.
3 weeks. Yeah, and that box that served as a coffee table for temporarily, it seems like it's just fine as a coffee table now, because it's been there for so long. So how do you get yourself in the best, place in your mind to do these things?
That's a great question, Jim. And I think the key is that you have to really take it as little as possible, the process. Clearly, when you move into a new space, whether it be a college dorm or a house or apartment, it's overwhelming to demand on yourself to expect to completely unpack everything.
Right.
So I think if you allow yourself to break it down into what's important, clearly the kitchen is going to be important, the bathroom is going to be important, and then a living space. And then you kind of branch out from there, and you set small expectations for yourself to unload at least one box a day.
Right.
One box.
Right.
You'll be done before you know it.
Yeah, you got to break it down to its component parts. I get this thing going like, oh, today I'm going to finish. And then I just get sort of disappointed in myself, for doing it. Hiring a mover, that's the initial challenge right off the bat.
That's very important. There's a lot of different movers out there. I think it's so important to do your homework and ask questions. Try to be a detective, actually. Find out, are they licensed? Do they hire subcontractors? Are they insured? These are all types of questions that you must ask, because when it comes to having a professional moving company, and I'm saying professional because there are people out there that, have a
Two
truck.
guys with a truck.
Well, there's a legitimate company out there, but, you want to make sure that you ask.
Sorry, two guys with a truck. I was speaking generically there. I didn't know.
But you do want to ask those questions because you don't want to cheap out when it comes to moving.
Yeah.
Another tip is that a lot of times we say, oh, I just want you to move the hutch, but don't move that chair. And then that day comes and you're overwhelmed and you just say, oh, just move the chair too. And then ka-ching, ka-ching. You want to make sure that your estimates in writing, very important, because the law states that if you have an estimate in writing, they can only increase it by 10%. So it's important and very imperative that you get it in writing.
It can get away from you, man.
Yeah, totally
we really underestimated, and our mover was not particularly amused by that. Now, you have things like scheduled to turn off your power 1 or 2 days after the move. Is that just in case?
Well, it's a perfect example. We had a client right now that she moved and she had to go back a day or two because she forgot something in the attic and the power was shut off.
Yeah.
So she had no electricity. She had to go get a flashlight. So you want to allow for those unexpected, I have to go back, I have to get something, okay? So that's part of that project plan that I spoke about earlier at the 6 o'clock hour, that you want to set up, okay, 3 days, perhaps 2 days after you actually move, that you want to make sure that all those utilities are taken care of. That gives you a little window there.
Let's keep talking here, but while we talk, let's put up on the screen some of the things that we have been talking about here. Get rid of as many items as you can. Why pack things that you're never going to use anyway? Pack unused item first, find the mover. And we're going to talk about pets with our pet experts here in a little while, but I also want your perspective on moving a pet. We have a dog and a cat that we had to move, and it was an adventure, to say the least.
Well, it is, and it could be just as stressful to your pet as well as the family members. So what I like to do is that if you know that you're going to move, you have to, they're just like people. You have to have that dialogue with them. Because I don't know about you, but when I pack my suitcase to go on a business trip, my dog sees those suitcases and she starts freaking out before. So I tell her, I kind of tell her, okay, we're moving. Especially if your pet is not familiar with traveling a long distance and they're going to be in the vehicle, you have to start getting them prepared to being in a crate. You have to start preparing them to take that journey, okay? things like that. Also, when you're going to do that final walkthrough or before you actually make that big move, introduce them to the yard, introduce them to the space little by little, and then bring them back. That way there's a sense of like, okay, I've been here before.
Our bark buster, our guests are going woof woof over there. Yeah, they're saying right on, Mar. Mar, these are wonderful tips. Good luck to you.